London, the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane. Going to see CJ Johnson in 42nd Street. Let's go! Ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane, London, with the star of 42nd Street, mate, and incognito diva extraordinaire, CJ Johnson! Woo!
Oh, the fans are going crazy outside. I just had to push through them all to sign autographs. And you're there every night trying to get an autograph from me as well, which is a bit strange.
I just am your biggest fan. Hey, so CJ has just, for a whole year last year, she was playing in 42nd Street, and Simone, me and the kids came to see her in December at Christmas time, and she was an absolute superstar. Then she went travelling to Colombia and has just come back, and they've got her in again for how long?
Just 2 months.
2 months.
Just to help out.
So it's like the mafia where you leave,
yeah,
but they always bring you back.
It's like Incognito, is it?
Hey, so we just wanted to just spend some time with CJ. She's got a matinee performance in about an hour, so I really appreciate your time and stuff.
Pleasure.
So can you just tell the viewers out there, because there's also a lot of young up-and-coming performers that really, you know, are super keen to hear your advice. So just, can you also just give a quick précis of what you've done over your huge career?
Ooh, what I've done. I mean, do you want to go right from the beginning?
Wherever.
Started probably with Bugsy Malone, as it does for most people. When I was 12, played Tallulah in that. Realised it was something I enjoyed, and I was just one of those lucky ones that it's just all I ever knew. I wasn't a particularly sort of jazz hands, you know, Shirley Temple, good shit lollipop, I want to be on stage. Sorry, Shirley. Shirley's not a bit like, is she?
She's dead, she's fine.
And it's all I ever knew, really. It's just what I loved and what I enjoyed doing. And I was offered a scholarship from Mountview Theatre School and very stupidly didn't take it. Went to university instead, studied drama, theatre and television because I was interested in being behind the camera. Got to the end of that and thought I loved being at university, but actually I really, really missed performing. And so got a place at the Royal Academy of Music for a year on the musical theatre course.
Mary Hammond, was that?
Mary Hammond was the director, yes. And then I was just very lucky because I got straight into a show that went to the Edinburgh Festival, and all shows that go to the Edinburgh Festival you hope that they're going to transfer to the West End, and it did. And that was it, really.
Which show was that?
That was called Zip. 100 musicals in 90 minutes. And then my first job transferred into the West End, and then, gosh, a lot of things since then.
Yeah. So did you do Woman in White as well?
Yes.
Yep. That was
Andrew Lloyd Webber's The Woman in White, which is how I got involved in Incognito.
That was the
because
set,
so many of us in the show, so many of them were from Incognito, and they told me about these guys that I should get involved with, because sometimes you very much enjoy doing 8 shows a week, but it's nice to have something else going on as well and to keep your mind alive. So came an audition for you guys.
I remember it well.
Do you?
Blonde bombshell. Just nailed it. And how many shows have you done for us over the years? I mean, you've worked for us for at least.
I was thinking about this today, since Woman in White, which was something like 2004. So 14 years.
And we've been to some incredible places over the world. That's
again, knowing that we were going to be having this chat today, I was just thinking back, because you get so caught up in it all, you don't often stop to think back through all of the gigs. And it's such a boring thing to say, but so many people say, I wish I'd written a book, or I wish I kept a diary of it all. But genuinely, if you think back to the stuff we've done, I was thinking back today of this, how perfect does this sound? For as many times as we're getting sort of changed in a broom cupboard somewhere, I was going to just choose a random place and I thought I don't want to offend anyone. But as many times as we're sort of, you know, doing a smaller function, you'll find yourself the next week somewhere ridiculous. And I was thinking back to meeting the dolphins in the Bahamas. How perfect is that?
We got flown out in a private jet, didn't we?
Yes!
And,
forgot about that.
That was for Sol Kersner, I think. And my God, we were in the Atlantis.
Hotel, and even just being told I was going to meet the dolphin. I do remember I just started crying my eyes out. I hadn't even met the dolphin yet.
It's oftentimes the stuff after the gig that is just so memorable. I mean,
yeah, there's just been so much. And the Pink, Katy Perry, one
she
in
got
on
to
tea.
perform with Pink and Katy Perry.
Yes!
I was somewhere else. Hey, so what is some of the lessons that you've learned over the years? If there was, something you want to share with people out there.
Lessons that I've learned. Oh, that's always such a difficult one because I very much believe in life you have to go through the darkness, the extremes of darkness and light to, especially as an actor and performer, you need to have experienced the ups and downs to be the performer you are and to be the person you are. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like a bit of a cop-out, doesn't it? But I don't know if I'd look back and change anything, because then life maybe would have been a bit beige if everything was just perfect all the time. Yeah. So I guess just, I think I'm a woman of extremes, aren't I? Love with all your heart, feel heartbreak, and throw yourself fully into everything. Because certainly as a performer, an actor, and beyond that, as a person, I think it makes you a person that appreciates life. If I'd only ever known everything to be easy, then life wouldn't be what it is. But those ups, and certainly with gigs, when we're flown somewhere wonderful, if life was like that all the time, it'd be pretty good.
You get bored, but maybe a little sad. Then you get on the private jet again. Hey, so look, no one works harder, I don't think, than CJ. She is meticulous in her preparation, very drilled with musicality. In terms of your harmonies, you're just an absolute stickler, and I love you for that.
I annoy them because I'm a bit obsessed with harmonies before a gig, aren't I? And if somebody's doing something, I'm like, oh, it doesn't work!
Yeah, exactly. So, do you have perfect pitch, would you say?
I have relative pitch. I think that's what they call it. So I can find the note of things through songs that I know well.
Right.
Is that English? Yeah. So I can pitch a certain note because it's my favourite Stevie Wonder song.
That's right.
Or a show that I'm doing.
Obsessive fan of Stevie Wonder, by the way. But also CJ has helped so many young people as well in their musicality and their singing. She's a fantastic, I think one of the best vocal coaches, because my girls have been vocal coaching with her for about 2 or 3 years, and they absolutely love her. But just because of the fun that you bring to it, so it's not just the standard do your scales.
It's hard to not feel fun in the house of Geoff Sewell. Seriously, Geoff is the most infectious, as I'm sure everybody knows that's met Geoff. He just being around his home environment, and I never really had I? We probably had some parties there and whatever, but just to see what Geoff's like with his family on a daily basis, it's just I'm pretty high energy anyway, but it's completely infectious. It's the most loving household I've ever had the honour of being a part of. So I loved teaching the girls. I loved it.
They love you. What about a piece of advice for people starting out in the business? What would you say?
I think one thing maybe that I think I got right is trying to. I'm quite a yes person, and if it's a project that fuels my creativity or inspires me, I'm up for it. So in terms of ambitions, maybe don't have just the one thing in your head, like the Phantom of the Opera or Les Miserables, because they're the obvious things that we all want to do. We all grow up wanting to do these big musicals. But also my favourite projects have been the workshopping. I got to workshop Harry Potter, the play. I got to be one of the first 10 people to get that on its feet, off the page and on its feet, which is the most exciting part of a creative process. I've done a lot of the things at the National Theatre. I workshopped Pinocchio and a few things that I still can't talk about because they don't exist yet. But and I've done a bit of puppetry as well, and so I like to try and turn my hand to anything. I always just say to people, if it excites me and it fuels my creativity, then yes, I'll do it. So I guess it's funny. I think it is important to be a jack of all trades. I don't know if you can survive in this business if you're not, personally. If you can just do one thing, and the same with Incognito. You have a specific thing, don't you, with performers, that we need to be able to cover a bit of everything.
Absolutely. Can she play the piano? Yes. Can she dance? Yes.
But you haven't had my puppeteering yet.
I haven't even seen it.
My majorettes. Oh! I was a European champion majorette when I was 9. So puppetry Incognito is coming with a baton.
With C.J. Johnson. Boom. And so also one of the questions I really am fascinated with, and it's kind of a bit of a woo-woo question, I think. Knowing everything that you know right now, the experience you've gained, the knowledge, what would you go back and tell your 18-year-old self? And if you could say, CJ, make sure you do this.
I'd whisper, CJ, don't get a spiral perm. It'll ruin your life forever. A spiral perm. Oh gosh, that's difficult because it's a similar thing. The thing I said about
The light in the dark.
yeah, would I want to go back and speak to 18-year-old CJ and tell her to make any changes? I know probably things that looking back I could have done differently, but did I need to go through those things to be the person I am? Yes, I did. So I think I would probably whisper, along with not getting a perm, I would probably say, just throw yourself fully into it all, which is what I was doing. So I guess I would probably whisper, keep going, keep loving with your heart, keep performing with your heart, keep doing everything fully and to the extreme, and when you feel pain or when you feel disappointment, allow yourself to feel it, because it's all part of who you are today. And when you look forwards to when you're 8 years old, I'm telling you the birthday I had recently, keep going, because it all makes you the person you are. And certainly on stage. There's nothing worse than somebody performing with nothing going on behind their eyes, and you need to have lived for there to be something going on. And I think we tell stories on stage. We tell stories when we're performing. We're singing lyrics, we're singing songs, and there has to be something going on. And to have something going on, you need to have lived fully. So don't try and get it right. Just do it and enjoy it.
Beautiful. And for those people who may be in London in the next 6 weeks, come to 42nd Street, because there is a masterclass if CJ is on stage performing that lead. Honestly, we sat in the theatre in December, Christmas time, and we're just blown away. So you're an absolute legend. One last question. What's the end game for CJ? What is there anything that you still think that you haven't achieved, or if there's something else that you want to do? What's the next move?
That's difficult. I think I'm always a bit nervous of having very specific ambitions, which sounds crazy. You might disagree with this as well, because I know how driven you are. But I think because I'm always just so grateful. Maybe I'd like to start combining. I love people and I love working with people, and that's why I went to work in Idamani, and so yeah, I think. I don't know. Does this need to be a performing question?
Not at all. Just
helping them. I hate using the term making a difference, but making, going out there and just using my skills to do something really worthwhile, which is what I've been trying to do already, but it's quite vague, that, isn't it?
But
But going out there and using my skills to do something really worthwhile. Although there's a lot to be said when we're doing gigs and when we're performing, it makes me so happy to make other people happy. And we see a lot of happy people, don't we? We're so lucky. So I guess to keep making people happy as deeply as possible, to go as far as I can with that, with the skills that I have. Because I'm not a doctor and I can't mend people and but maybe I can mend people inside.
Nice! Oh,
yeah.
We love you. Thank you so much. Guys, she is an absolute superstar. CJ Johnson!